practice.
Good evening, folks. I know we're a little behind here, trouble on my end. Tonight, I want to welcome, we got a dynamic guest who truly wears many hats. She's a sports journalist, on-air professor, entrepreneur, powerful voice and involving in the sports media, from covering major sporting events to mentoring the next generation of broadcasters. She continues to break barriers and build platforms. Please help me welcome the incredibly talented Kelsey Nicole Nelson. Kelsey, welcome.
Thank you so much, Mike. I'm excited to be here with you. Your intro made me sound good. Maybe I'm doing something.
Well, hey, I don't know. You're, like I said in my promos, you're a woman in many hats. And,
no, thank you. And I love your promo too, by the way. The music.
Thank you. I give credit to my guy, Norm, who came up with that intro. The guy does, this amazing software, and this AI stuff is like phenomenal.
It's fun. Wait, did they get to hear it, Mike, in this one? I know we're live, but did they get the intro too? Because that was
they didn't.
Oh, okay.
Why? You want me to replay it? I'll play it at the end. So it's been a while. I mean, it's actually going on about 5 years since we known each other.
Has really? See, time
at least four, maybe 5. And I know we had
Mike when we met. We don't age.
Exactly. Age like a fine wine, right?
There we go.
So let's dive right into it. You were right out in the Super Bowl a week and a half ago. How was that?
Oh my God, Mike, I had no coat on. San Francisco.
I see.
It was fun. It was, Super Bowl week is always one of my favorite weeks of the year. And I feel like we're all already counting down to Los Angeles. I've already been in convos about next year, which is like crazy to think about. We're a year out, but like, as you know, so much is happening in LA, right? With the Super Bowl, the World Cup, the Olympics. So like LA is the place to be. But all that to say, like San Francisco was such a great time. It's like a reunion because some folks I only see once a year during the Super Bowl. But also people keep up with you throughout the year, so it's fun, from everything from being on Radio Row, which hopefully everyone followed, to like catching up with the guy. And I love this, Fred Smoot here in DC, said it's the one time media players get along. And I will say we get along more, but like, it's really like a fun time, I think, for everybody. Obviously the players would love to be playing the big game, but kind of the next best thing is probably being at Super Bowl and like, being around all the festivities, reconnecting, with agents and friends and talent. So all that to say, it was really great. It was tiring. I was out there for 2 weeks, but it was a lot of fun.
Well, no, I lost my train of thought. Now, was this your first Super Bowl or was this?
No. You know what's so funny? My first Super Bowl was Atlanta. Patriots fans, that should ring a bell. And I have been going every year since.
Ooh, I don't know what happened. That was on my end. So you saw 2 Eagles Super Bowl wins since.
Well, the most recent, obviously, I got to see the Eagles win with Jalen Hurts, and that was really fun. Because I remember, obviously, just all the narrative, around Jalen, especially since he's been in the league. And honestly, we can probably say the narrative still around Jalen. Y'all aren't happy, Mike, with Jalen Hurts, even though he's delivered a ring. But all that to say, it's been fun.
Not to dive in fully to the Eagles, but it's been, it was very disappointing with their offense. And, hopefully all these coaching changes on the offensive side of the ball will, rectify 2024 on our end anyway.
It's exciting, but then I also I feel for Jalen because each year it's like, okay, here's a new offensive coordinator, and you got to get it right. And I do think, and this is to say, I think he's a very smart, intelligent quarterback, and I think he's very capable. But there is something to say about chemistry and what somebody can potentially build, right? When you are able to have some consistency there. So I'm excited, but my gosh, like Jalen since college, he's had to keep dating and courting new offensive.
It's like a new relationship every year. quarterback
exactly.
coach, offensive coordinator, what have you, and it's actually, I think we got a comment coming in here from a good friend of mine who I just had on 2 weeks ago. What is up? What is up, Al? How are you? Thank you for tuning in. I saw your comment on Facebook earlier.
Al is good people. I hope all is well. Al just tagged me in the Facebook post as one of my top fans. I'm so grateful for you, Al, and Mike. I have like a brotherhood with you too. So I'm so grateful.
Well, we're hoping to get the band back together. Hopefully next football season we'll have you on.
Nice, exciting.
So let me dive in because I got a slew of questions for you.
Yeah.
So for those that may not know your full story, how did your journey come into the sports media?
Yeah, honestly, I always give credit to my dad. Like, I am a daddy's girl through and through. I have a girl dad. And so essentially I tell people like my childhood was HBCU sports. My dad went to Grambling State University. If you know about Grambling State University and the football legacy, Eddie Robinson. Right. So that was my world. And so that's what I knew. And so I always say like football outside of my parents was my first love. And, I grew up in the DMV area, DC, Maryland, Virginia area at a time when sports were huge here. Right. Like, I lived through Maryland's first championship in basketball when Georgetown was still at a higher height in basketball. When the Wizards were playing good basketball, Mike. So I had to take people back. Like it was, the Caron Butler, Antoine Jameson, Gilbert Arenas, right? Agent Zero days. And then I spent my summers in Jackson, Mississippi. And so, I grew up in the South. 7-day Adventist, but when I wasn't in church, it was football, it was sports. Like that literally is South. It's church and sports. And so all that to say, that was my introduction. And so honestly, sports have always been part of my world. And then I think I naturally always gravitated to journalism because I love the power, Mike, that journalists have. Like the fact that, they're entrusted with messages and telling stories. And I've always been a storyteller. I've always been that person that everybody comes to come tell the news and information. And like, I was the one that was able to like get it out to the masses. And then I think I just always loved being I've always been to the arts. I've always been a writer. I've always been a reader. And so that journalism kind of naturally fell to me. I'm not a big numbers person outside of my finances where I need to be. And then kind of lo and behold, I found out I was able to make a career at it. And here we are, Mike, now 10 years post grad school removed.
Is it 10 years already?
Wow. I was a class of 2016 Georgetown grad. So and we're in 2026. So I guess almost 10 full years since I graduated from grad school, to be doing this.
Also, Al checking in again, saying it as well. Thank you.
Nice. I'm glad you're well, Al.
Actually, I did have the videos and pictures we talked about from the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Let me see here what I have here. Now I think this was an interview that you were. Let me pull this up for the audience.
Based out of Washington, D.C. with Fox Sports and Fox Sports Radio, and also professor as I teach sports writing at Washington University. I actually started off as teaching students living sports, so I actually had students on the ground at opening night.
I know it was a little noisy in the background there, but that was going back to last week or 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, 2 weeks now. My gosh, time's flying. Yeah, it was so fun. I had a chance to be interviewed by the NFL Player Care Foundation. And essentially, for folks who don't know what that is, these are the people essentially that make sure that players are ready for their careers, right? Post football, right? So they throw a career fair every year, pairing them with employers because you never know. You might be working next to a former player, right? At work. And so outside of my sports business, I have a communications consulting company, and I actually do a lot of public training, public speaking training and media training for athletes, right? So they're ready to talk to guys like you, Mike, in front of the microphone.
Hey, I'm always for that. I want to pull up a couple pictures here of I guess you're out and about on the town here. Now,
on the Alcatraz. That was the island.
Is that where that was? All right. No, yeah, you could. Matter of fact,
I
mean, you could tell by the island out there in the very back.
Yeah.
Looked like you were kind of modeling in this picture.
Had a little fun in the midst of work.
Hey, nothing wrong with that. It's what it's about, right? Now I got this other picture of you, I guess, Super Bowl 60. Now was, what's that say? Pier 39, I think.
Yeah, Pier 39. So right in San Francisco. This was one of the official spots that they had for fans to actually go take pictures with the official Super Bowl logo. So it was a lot of fun, big tourist attraction. And you had to wait in line to go up and take your picture. And you can tell, like, this was the right after Super Bowl. So that Monday after. Honestly, the weather started to change, matter of fact, because it was sunny until it's like it stayed sunny in Cali until the day after the game. And then it was like, all right. We've had enough. And the clouds came.
Now here's another picture with you, I guess.
Yeah.
When did this, was this like the fan experience or?
This was actually Radio Row. So I know I'm blocking the logo, but Reach TV, which actually is a platform that's in many airports across the country. So when you're at the airport, you're actually probably watching Reach TV. They had an activation, as you know, many media companies set up on Radio Row. And so they had one of the better ones. As you see, I have like an official football. You see the official helmet for Super Bowl 60 behind me. And so that's what Radio Row is. Like, you're doing interviews, you're being interviewed. It's a mix of everything.
And this last picture I'm going to bring up is this, not to be biased here, but it is Philly flair. I know Eagles fans are going to appreciate this picture of you, N'Kobe Dean, and Miss D, who I actually was my first guest the night before the Eagles kicked off the 2025 season.
Oh, that is awesome. She's awesome and sweet.
Oh, yeah.
We've
very nice
together throughout the years. And so we go back to, I met N'Kobe when I was doing hosting for an event where he was getting awarded out of high school by the National Alliance of African American Athletes. And then we all connect because we all have family from Mississippi. And so kind of even deeper than football. And so, yeah, this was like a reunion picture because we've seen each other online, but haven't had a chance to like see each other in person.
Oh, no. So you knew
this was an NFLPA event. Yeah, I met him coming out of high school before he committed to Georgia, and had a chance, to meet him. And so this is what Super Bowl is. This was an NFLPA community event. He was volunteering at a school in Oakland, California. So I absolutely met him. Or I shouldn't say I met him, but I got to see him again. I got to see his mom, and then I got to actually meet his girlfriend too. So that was really fun. Family event.
I know when I had Miss D on, she, military background.
She's impressive.
Remember, she did talk about, originally being from Mississippi and, just, I met N'Kobe, was fortunate, very down to earth.
Yeah.
Very personable.
I love it. He's awesome. So that's why I enjoy covering these athletes. And I think that's a reminder too, that you know them off the football field, right? Like obviously a competitor, on the football field, but at the end of the day, like I love that community service aspect.
It's like, just the camaraderie you have with, athletes from all these different sports that you've covered. I mean, I know you've covered.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, like I said, you're everywhere. I know you covered NASCAR, ESPN, you're Fox Sports, Bally Sports. Like
I've been around the block in sports. No,
you got a hell of a resume. You know that?
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. When I tell you, like, I'm so grateful for the opportunities. Like I said, it's allowed me to cross so many paths. Like, even we got on at a prayer breakfast that I was part of, right? Like it's amazing sometimes how you see the intersection and cross. But I'm so blessed, Mike, like from covering, the NBA at a top level, covering football at a top level, like NASCAR. Like I diversify my resume. I've had a chance to cover the City Open here in DC for those that like tennis. I love sports. I love storytelling. I love, the connection between fans and athletes. So, it's been fun. I got to cover F1 here in DC. I covered E1. If don't know that's the boat racing version, essentially. I've got to go right into headquarters, Mike. Like I am truly blessed in my career.
I would definitely say so. Like, like I said, knowing you for 4 years and just, watching you grow is just amazing. Like, wanted to ask you, you worked across TV, radio, digital, live hostings. Which platform stretch you the most early on?
It's a good question. I would say, honestly, I think radio is something that if you want to work in broadcast, radio is such a good background to have. In TV,
Right.
you only have so much time to talk. Radio too, but radio is so unexpected because like radio, you never know what caller might call in. I always say on radio, you get the down home callers. Like if you listen to a sports radio program, like anything can go anywhere and be said. You just kind of have to roll with the punches. Where I think TV is a little bit more like you kind of know what to expect, right? Like it's a little bit because, like I said, they only have so much time, and usually you over prepare for TV and you only say like a small fraction. Where radio, like one thing can lead to the next, and you're there. So all that to say, I think like if you get good in sports talk radio, and sports talk radio is like, I had a chance to, I always tell people like one of my early beginnings, I had a chance to get on Sirius XM NASCAR radio with a guy called Chocolate Thunder. And it was one of the best experiences. And NASCAR fans are like the real deal. Like if you don't know your stuff, you don't know your stuff.
Right. Well, another
one of the best experiences ever.
Matter of fact, one of my colleagues here that was with me on the earlier podcast is a big NASCAR fan. Matter of fact, he was at one of our sponsors for one of our sponsors locations for NASCAR the other day.
Nice. And speaking of which, by the way, congrats to MJ. And when you think about everything that 23XI Racing went through with NASCAR and MJ, and the fact that he was able to hoist a trophy for the Daytona 500, you think about like the top races, that was exciting to see.
I'll say one thing for myself. I never really got into NASCAR. I don't know why. Just not my forte. But it's. My next question for you is: you're a host, reporter, professor, consultant, and entrepreneur. How do you balance all these roles together?
Mike, you got to get good at time management. I am such, and Mike knows this. Mike, what did I ask you for when we scheduled this? I said I need a calendar invite.
Calendar invite.
And people sometimes
I still screwed up.
But
only because I was off by one number on your email.
No problem. Look, but look, it's kind of like the game, right? The show must go on, and we're here, and we're still making it happen. But like the reason why I have to make sure people are in my calendar is because of what you said. I do so many things, and I have to remind myself because I do so many things. So it means essentially I have to be a planner. And I have to be good with my time. So like I give blocks of time to everything. I had a coffee today. It was in my calendar. Coffee meeting today was in my calendar. My class, I teach Monday, Wednesday mornings. That's in my calendar, right? Like work time, prep time, that's in my calendar. So essentially like you have to be a master of time management.
Right. So which hat feels most natural to you if you had to pick one?
Honestly, the one that this is probably surprising to folks, but I really love the professor lens, and it feels natural because like essentially like I'm sharing in real world what I'm seeing. And I love it because students keep me curious and on my toes and on my feet. And at GW, I have such an international class. Like I have a squash player, like someone that actually was like playing professional squash, like as a student in my class. Oh, wow. I have a student that their parent is an ambassador for sport in a whole other country. I have students that have been to, FC Barcelona. Like when I tell you, like, I absolutely love it. And having this like global view of the world, Mike, it's so much fun. And because it's a course that I actually launched, like, I feel like I'm refining it in real time. And I love it. And it's my baby. And like I said, so in the classroom, like me making slides, answering questions, like I love everything about it. I need to grade tonight. So if I don't get back to anybody, it's because I'm head down trying to grade, but like, it just feels like my full circle moment, right? Like I remember being in their seats. And in journalism, like a lot of it, that I'm teaching, it's stuff that has been there, but also like there's so much that's changed, right? Like they're entering a different world. And we get to experience that together. So I absolutely love that.
Does teaching at GW University change your approach to your own career?
I think for sure. Yeah. Like I think one of the things that I've had to do, Mike, is be an entrepreneur early. And I think my students are entering a world where they're going to see entrepreneurial journalism top level. Because now we're seeing that like news organizations, like Mike, I'm in DC. Everybody saw what happened at the Washington Post. with the sports department, right? Like, so what
just recent.
What used to be like a for certain job in the industry isn't necessarily. But like, so I'm bringing in guest speakers that like have their own Substack newsletters and are finding ways on how to monetize themselves and not just through a company. And I think that's a good lesson for me too. Like I have a podcast network, right? That's a business that it has to be monetized. I'm always looking for sponsors and advertisers. So I think I'm able to always apply that. But like, so we're talking about things in real time. And so honestly, I always tell people like I have so many examples with the UCLA coach, right? We're able to talk about like, you know, probably many of them never thought like, how do you cover a story if a coach ejects his own player from a basketball game? Right. And what do you do if a coach kind of gets testy with you and feisty with you in an interview? So I always say like there's always so many different examples that I'm able to use, but also it's a refining moment for myself. Like, you know, as I'm teaching, I'm also like, you know what, this is a good lesson for me to learn too. Because I work in this in real life and in practice. And that's why, you know, my students wanted to be in my class because I'm seeing this every day. But like also when you're teaching, I think you're getting better at your craft yourself. So all that to say, it's almost like a mirror looking in. And with that, you know, you're teaching, but also finding ways like it keeps my writing, I think, like upbeat and like keeps my writing strong, right? Because I'm an editor in the classroom. We treat the classroom like a real working sports department. And you know, doing all of that. But then I'm editing my interns, part of my company with Listening with K&N. I'm editing my own writing. So overall, teaching makes you stronger, you know. And
so you're basically covering everything yourself too.
Exactly.
You know, like you said. My next question is, what's the key to getting athletes to open up beyond cliches?
Yeah, I think it's authenticity and finding a connection point. So kind of like I said, with N'Kobe Dean, like one of the cool things that we share is family from Mississippi. And there's a unique, it's kind of like we all have something unique about our hometown areas, right? Like, so for me, I'm from the DMV area. So like in the Super Bowl, and I always say like DC sports, DMV sports is my thing. Like that's what I think makes me unique. No one knows the DMV sports scene like me. And so like one of the storylines from Super Bowl was the local kids from my area on the Patriots that came from where I grew up in Montgomery County, Maryland, Stephon Diggs and Mac Hollins. So I'm able to bring that unique lens. And then like, so for instance, you know, Stephon Diggs went to Maryland. I went to Maryland. Right. So like, I think when you're able to bring connection points home, so it's, you know, it's kind of bringing it back. Like, what does it mean to be able to represent for Stephon Diggs, like the Montgomery Village Chiefs? That's his Pee Wee team that he used to play for on the biggest stage, right, at Super Bowl. So I think you try to find those connection points, but also you just have to be authentic and real, right? So like when you're asking a question, you know, again, it has to seem like you thought about it and you thought it out, but also just remembering that they're humans at the end of the day. I think empathy is a thing. But also again, that and also you want people to think, you want them to be curious and think like, what's something that maybe hasn't been asked? How do I get them excited? That's what I'm always thinking about.
When you talk about the DMV, I want to go back a little ways.
Yeah.
Now, Newport News, Virginia. Allen Iverson,
you're
and
going
Michael
757. Yeah.
Now, is that close to? I'm geographically, I'm not geographically. I mean, that's not near the DMV, is it?
So
or is that further south?
It's
further south.
Yeah, it's further south. So it's interesting. The DMV is an interesting place. So if you don't know, like the DC, Maryland, Virginia area, essentially how we characterize it is what's inside the Beltway. So Northern Virginia, which is like your Alexandria, Virginia, your Arlington, Virginia, like that's DMV. But the 757, and you're talking about like Mike Vick and like the Hampton Roads area, right? That area is its own unique area. And technically, don't consider it part of the DMV because that's a much longer drive from DC. But a lot of talented athletes, a very talented area. But technically, like that's its own unique, you know, area. And you're talking about like so many greats from that. Mike Tomlin's from that area. Like a lot of greats are from that area. But yeah, we can't claim the 757 area.
I just wanted to clarify because I didn't know. I mean, I've been to Virginia. I mean, I'm a little, you know, familiar with the Baltimore, DC area, but I don't.
Yeah. And even Baltimore is its own like unique code, like Baltimore has its own set of athletes, right? Like Kevin Durant made something in the water. He was specifically talking about Prince George's County, Maryland, which is inside the DMV. I know it's complicated. Okay. We're complicated.
Nah, not at all. Speaking of Kevin Durant, he actually owns part of the Philadelphia Union soccer team.
He's been investing. He's been a successful businessman. Like what the ventures that he's involved in is very impressive. Impressive business portfolio.
Yeah, because but getting back to I am familiar with the Baltimore area, but like I said, I don't get down there enough. I mean, it's
understand. Look, you got a lot going on in Philly.
well, yeah, like you said, now the nation is 250 years old, and we got the World Cup coming.
So much is happening. Yeah. And I just put my application for credentials in. So hopefully I'll get to come to Philly for the World Cup.
Oh, that would be, it's going to be incredible. I know those tickets are, pretty high. Plus, Philly, we're hosting the 2026 All-Star baseball game here. So
yeah, had Unrivaled, largest crowd, right? For Unrivaled. Good stuff is happening in Philadelphia.
Big time. Matter of fact, we got some more comments coming in here. Actually, Norm, who's owns part of the network, he is a Washington Commanders fan. So,
hi Norm, checking in from DC.
Well, no, he actually lives up Western PA.
Nice. So
he just says, "Hey Fuji, thanks for coming. Thanks for coming on the show, Kelsey."
Yeah. Thank you for the warm welcome, Norm. I appreciate it.
Okay, I guess that was I didn't realize that you typed in there.
Yeah, I said hi everyone. Like I said, it's so good to
be here. My fault. I'm still a little used to doing this all myself behind the scenes. So
oh, you're good.
I didn't realize the comments.
You're good. You're being a jack of all trades, or producer.
I've come a long way. I'm not a novice anymore. I don't think.
Claps for Mike. I'm proud of you.
Thank you. I appreciate it. But I don't know where did I want to go next. When you do interviews, what separates a good interview from a great one?
You're asking all the right questions. I think you want to leave somebody with something, which I think is so exciting. So one of the interviews I'm excited coming up will have a person running for Senate in Kansas. And the news with the Chiefs broke, Mike. Right. And that's big news, right? With the stadium. And we're going to talk about that. Yeah. And this is something that will have implications in this upcoming election right there. So I think it's what can you leave people with that's memorable? What new piece of information can they learn? And I think there's a lot of questions. And I think, honestly, when it comes to business and stadiums, I think there's a lot of things that maybe the average person just doesn't know that I want to shed light on. What should they know? What should they be looking out for? How will this impact them potentially? And so that's what I think it is. But, and that's what I love too, is I kind of love having those non-conventional people either. I've had politicians on my show. They like to be called public servants, but we know them as politicians. But we talk about sports. And again, sports, I always think sports are political. I mean, we're in DC, right? We're talking about F1 race here that the president has talked about, UFC fight potentially, right? So all that to say, I'm excited to explore that, but you got to have something memorable or lasting and that aha moment that people should be able to walk away from with.
Well, right. I mean, you go, going back to the Chiefs moving to Kansas. I mean, the Commanders are getting a stadium built down there soon, aren't they?
Yeah, 2030. And that's exciting. And so some of the talks and conversations I've been part of, because I also am a small business owner. And that's honestly how I think we're able to really sell the stadium coming back to DC is they said, hey, we want the community involved. We want to have small businesses part of this. We want them to be able to shine a light. So it really does feel like something for the community.
Well, it's pretty interesting. We do got something in common between Philly and Washington. Speaking of the Commanders,
Yeah.
Josh Harris does own
Yeah,
the
that's right.
Philadelphia 76ers, which
Uh-huh.
I don't know. I think he's putting all the money down in that Washington franchise and stadium and, just, selling off, at the trade deadline last week and unloading.
You wanted some more to happen. Yeah. But Josh Harris, I think, is a perfect example. Like, obviously, he's done a lot in Philly, like you mentioned. But at the end of the day, I think it was so special for him to have a chance to come back home and have this friend in Washington.
Oh, Philly fans aren't too happy with Josh Harris.
I saw that. I'm online, Mike. I see the banter.
Well, not only that, I mean, he owns the New Jersey Devils in the NHL. So I guess if I were from Philly, I'd be catering to the home franchise myself. If I own, 3 teams total.
It's the dream, Mike, right? Like, I mean, but that's what I think. And Josh Harris, like, how unique is that, right? Like, because that's at Philly, right? The Philadelphia market is represented, and now DC. And I mean, this is somebody I think that whose portfolio will continue to grow. But he took over at the time, the most valued NFL franchise, right? When the Commanders went for sale.
Wasn't Magic Johnson in on?
He is. So Magic is a minority owner. Yep. And so, Magic, again, another person who, right, you think about what he's doing in LA and then you know what he's doing
Dodgers,
here. Yep.
Lakers.
Got a ring. Not bad Magic. Magic has been just as much of an amazing, successful businessman as he was in basketball.
Originally, didn't Magic own Starbucks at one time?
I see.
Maybe I'm wrong.
I know he has the food company that's really successful.
Maybe that's what I'm thinking of. I don't know. I thought I heard years ago that he was like one of the major owners in Starbucks, but don't hold me to it.
But he's so crazy professional, like crazy successful in a good way. Like Magic is like the inspiration if you want to get into like entrepreneurship.
My next question is a 2-part question. Now you are a part of the Emmy Awards or on the
board.
Board.
I said on the board. Yeah, the Capital Emmys here in the Washington region.
Okay. And also you are on the board of the Heisman Trophy winner. Can you dive into that?
I am a voting member. And this year I got to go to my first Heisman ceremony, which was so much fun. And I got to be around Fernando Mendoza, who first won, and his Indiana teammates, it was a blast. So going to New York to cover that was a thrill. I got to meet his family. I met his uncle. I met his little brother, Max. It was fun, like meeting all the and I know everything happened with Diego Pavia, and that kind of like blew up and kind of took over like some of the Heisman. But I also don't take for granted, being a voter. Jeremiah Love is someone actually I had also met coming out of high school through a board that I actually met N'Kobe Dean at the same program. And so it's kind of cool too when you see the through lines, of these stories and of these athletes. But it was fun my first year as a Heisman voter.
Nice. Now you're also on in Washington Fox 5, correct?
So I do go on Fox 5. So I work with Fox Sports, but I do go on there. And they have me on. It's so fun. I got to help be launched officially, like the first show called The Take. And then they love to have me on when it comes to sports, right? So anything sporting. So you talked about RFK, the Commanders move. And so usually anything sports, I get a lot of the local love, which is super fun. Because like I said, at the end of the day, like DC sports is my bread and butter. Like that's really where I built my career and what I aim to always be a master of each day.
So getting back to the Baltimore side of things here, what was your take of John Harbaugh being fired?
Oh, well, look, we're hearing that it was more mutual, but of course we as fans can dissect that, right? But I will tell you, I think Baltimore knew they couldn't keep more of the same. So I think Steve Biscotti, the owner of the Ravens, like in Baltimore, and we could say for the past couple of years, really since Lamar has been on this franchise, like Super Bowl has not only been the goal, but an expectation for this Baltimore franchise. And unfortunately, they continue to fall short. Like this season, last season, Baltimore was a favorite to win the Super Bowl. And they weren't able to attain that. And I think this Baltimore squad is looking back at that 2012 season and like, oh, that was good, right? We all remember the Harbaugh Bowl, where the Harbaugh brothers went at it and John was able to come out victorious. But that was one before Lamar's time. And then two, I think John was on some borrowed time because again, that kind of got stale. Like we're in 2026. So I'm excited for John in New York. I think that's going to be a challenge. I think the Giants have some pieces that I like a lot, especially on that defense. I think Jackson Dart's going to be interesting as well to see how he evolves and develops. I think for him is please keep him safe. The concussion issue, like you don't want to see him kind of go down that Tua Tagovailoa rabbit hole with the concussions. But all that to say, I think he did a hell of a job in Baltimore. I mean, John Harbaugh was a storied coach. Let's not take that away from him. But it's almost like the Mike Tomlin thing where it's like, okay, we know you can get to, and this season I think was a sting because Baltimore didn't even get to the postseason. Now, I know a lot of people might look at the kicker Tyler Loop and be like, well, they were but it shouldn't have come down to that. Let's be honest. Like it shouldn't have come down to that moment. Even though that was one of the better games of the season, that Steelers Ravens game. But all that to say, I think Baltimore kind of knew where things would continue to go with Harbaugh. I think his coaching, again, I just think unfortunately, especially offensively, and I know and Baltimore defensively too. Baltimore was horrible defensively. Like let's call a spade a spade. Like Baltimore's defense this season did not live up to the expectation that the predecessors like your Ray Lewis's and your Ed Reeds and the Baltimore, defense had set for a long time. The Ravens Stadium, you think about Under Armour and sponsorship and what Under Armour says, it's protect this house. Well, I don't think anybody felt like John Harbaugh was protecting that house.
Well, right.
Many changes needed to be made to support Lamar and that franchise.
I mean, going back to the Ravens draft, I mean, their first two picks were like lights out on defense, which I thought they were going to I actually predicted Baltimore to go to Super Bowl against the Eagles, but, I was off on it.
but on paper,
right?
Like Baltimore, and that's what I think. I mean, like it's there were such higher, expectations, like when you look at Baltimore, because again, you look at somebody like Lamar Jackson on one side of the ball. You talked about defense. You think about what the Ravens have been able to do through their recent drafts with guys like Kyle Hamilton, right? And Kyle Hamilton has been like just amazing for Baltimore. Especially like when he's healthy, he's a game changer. He's, called a Swiss Army knife. In different positions. Nate Wiggins, you think about recently on defense, I think he's been an asset for Baltimore. So essentially it's like on paper, Baltimore has all the right things, but on the field, it couldn't fully come together. And mind you, I know injuries have plagued Baltimore and that's hurt, but we also do know football is a next man up mentality. That's for any team. Right? So at the end of the day, you still need to deliver.
I just thought Jair Alexander with that acquisition was going to.
And look what happened with that. Right.
Like he got traded here and decided to hang it up. That was like the pass rusher the Eagles signed earlier in the year to play. What the heck was his name?
And he was supposed to be a difference maker. And on paper, when Baltimore signed two people, like, it's done. Ravens got it. And then, and so all that to say, I just think, unfortunately, one of my favorite books growing up was called A Series of Unfortunate Events. Right. That's exactly what happened to Baltimore. A series of unfortunate events. And now I think that resulted in Coach Harbaugh just needing to find a new home in the National Football League.
Look at the defensive coordinator. What's his name on Seattle now? Mike.
Yeah, that just won. Mike McDonald, right? Mike McDonald, yeah.
And he was defensive.
And he was previously in Baltimore.
Exactly.
Now on a Super Bowl.
Right. Actually wanted to touch on another question here. And you covered major sporting events and interviews. High-powered athletes. Which moment gave you chills, if any?
One of the things recently, I covered Venus Williams
Oh, well.
back in the City Open. And if folks remember, Venus made history as like the oldest player to win a match in that. And, Venus is somebody I watched growing up. Mike, I used to play with the Williams sister rackets when I played tennis.
Did you really?
Yeah. Wow. And so to be able to like ask her a question, somebody that I had long revered, knew the story, that was special. And especially because she was making history at that time. Right. So I think that was one of the more recent moments, that I had. And then, especially because I got to bring the question back home. I got to ask, like, what did it mean for her to be playing in Washington, D.C.? And D.C. is so special. Like the Williams sisters have a center dedicated for tennis here in the area. And a lot of good memories. And she gave such a great response and answer. And it was used in like multiple places. And it was just cool to kind of be the initiator of that. So I think that was one of the moments where it's like, wow, yeah, I just interviewed Venus Williams and asked a good question. And other people picked it up. So that was really fun at the City Open.
I was going to say, as a woman in sports media, what I'm sorry.
No, don't apologize, Mike.
What burners did you have to push through?
Yeah, the barriers. I think for me,
barriers.
Look, we're teammates. That's why I got you. Right. Mike. I think for me, honestly, being taken seriously, and it's so crazy. I know this like 2026, but there are still Mike guys that think women can't know sports. And I'm so grateful to have advocates and supporters like you and Mike. Me and you have yet to meet in person, but like you've been one of my biggest supporters and advocates. I think this is such a great example, right? You came across me online, you're able to follow the work, and you've believed and supported. Not every guy is like that, though. Some people don't want to support, again, just women in sports, unfortunately, in 2026. So you just got to fight to be taken seriously.
I was raised, my great aunt helped raise me.
I love that.
It was my grandmother's sister, and along with my mom, and she knew sports. Matter of fact, she took me to an Army Navy game.
Nice.
She took me to all my baseball games. She
I love that.
Loved the Eagles. She loved the Phillies. So I'll say this: like when I was younger, I wasn't really outgoing on a baseball field, and she would just embarrass the hell out of me and like come on, Michael, and
yeah.
I would just like look at her like, be quiet. Like I just didn't have that fire in me until I got older. You're playing Little League. You just had confidence, but I just, just didn't have that, aggressive to like, until I got older. But, you look back on it now and you deeply appreciate, right. And, being older now, you wish you could have those days back, but it's
they still live within you. And look at that. I love that memory. And I love that that inspired sports for you.
I mean, hey, look at it. I mean, it's, it's the barriers have, been broken down. I mean, matter of fact, the one video I did upload, and I didn't want to forget it. Thank you for reminding me, because I'm going to go back old school here.
Okay.
And I want to go back with Jane Kennedy, who was on with Irv Cross and Brent Musburger back in the day on CBS on
NFL Today. Yeah.
So behind the scenes, just look like you're being interviewed there and, doing a little modeling there. And
I try to have a little fun while I work, Mike.
That's what it's all about, isn't it?
You have to enjoy. If you can't tell, I really enjoy what I do. And I appreciate you sharing that.
I found that on LinkedIn. I mean, because I asked you if you had any videos and pictures.
I'm like, there's so much, Mike. I'm like, whatever you see out there, just grab. And you did. And Cleveland, that was in Cleveland. And it was so special for me. I had a chance as part of the Sam Lacey Pioneer Awards, the National Association of Black Journalists. Mm-hmm. Every year we honor pioneers and athletes and journalists. And Jane Kennedy, who was technically born in Washington, D.C., but grew up in Wickliffe, Ohio, suburb of Cleveland, for folks that don't know. I had a chance to honor and meet her. And for me, Mike, that was amazing because I got to meet the trailblazer.
That's what I was just, you took the, you know what?
I'm sorry, am I taking your questions?
All jokes aside, we're going back to the late 70s with Jane Kennedy.
And I don't want to give away her book, but if you guys read her book, mm-hmm. It's special. And Maria Taylor recently accomplished something, becoming the first Black woman to get a chance to actually do the Lombardi Trophy ceremony at the most recent Super Bowl. But before Maria did that, Jane Kennedy, which you talked about, Jane was doing football as the first on a syndicated television show. I don't want to give her book away, but something happened. But Jane was actually supposed to be that first.
Oh, well.
And you think about when this was in the 70s and think about where we are now. Maria just became the first. And so I think that's also a reminder of the work that still needs to happen.
Right.
But Jane, it was incredible to meet, the most kind, loving person. And I was just I'm meeting somebody that literally paved the way. Right. And then Desmond Howard was in that video. You think about a football.
Was that okay?
And Archie Griffin was in that video. I mean, my gosh, how these are the people that I've had a chance to present through journalism work, So that video is near and dear to my heart. And I'm just glad I got a chance because I couldn't bring everybody to Cleveland, but I'm glad I got a chance to, bring that back and just share some of the special moments and memories, that I'm so blessed to have.
Speaking of Jane Kennedy, she wasn't in the mess amount. She wasn't.
You're right. She was. She was.
All right.
Queen. Yeah. And
all right.
Another good part of her book that I highly recommend people getting, Plain Jane. She shares a lot of stuff that she had to overcome, and just in terms of really becoming her and what she stood for. And she was acting at a time, so some of your favorite actors and actresses. And maybe you all have seen a Jane Kennedy movie. When you talk about somebody who was multifaceted and used all of her skills and talents. Mm-hmm. It's she who is Jane Kennedy.
Well, like I said, we're going back almost close to 50 years. Jane Kennedy, some folks today, younger, I'm not saying everybody young, but, some folks may not even know who Jane Kennedy is. You said, a trailblazer.
Yeah. Do your homework and research if you don't and I think it's so important. One of the quotes I live by is our past lies in our future lies in our past. I love quotes. I live by quotes. I'm a poet at heart. That's how I first got into writing. I was writing poetry. But I think it's so important. I don't think you can know where you're going if you don't know where you've come from. And so one of the things I definitely recommend everybody do, and this isn't anything that you do, but know who came before. You have to do your research.
All right. Like you said, Jane Kennedy, present time yourself. And, there's, matter of fact, a young lady who, well, that I will be interviewing the first week of March, Miss Renee Washington.
Yeah. And she's
And, Al and myself had the pleasure of interviewing last year at the 50.
Oh, I love it. So I love that. And there's women now dominating.
Right. And she, Miss Washington, I know she just interviewed Tom Brady just within the last year. And
nice. That's right. With Front Office Sports, right?
Which I believe she's still, I know, like herself, she wears many hats. She's a graduate of LaSalle College.
That's That's awesome.
I'll be having Miss Washington on in a few weeks.
Nice, exciting. Look at you. Wow, you're doing it big. I love it.
Well, I'm trying. I'm trying to get to your. I'm trying to get to your status.
Oh, look, you are.
I don't know.
You
hey,
are doing it. I'm so
you know what? Here's the thing too, and I'm going to say this with another fellow podcaster. I believe you may know him, Tony Cotillo.
Oh, I do. Tony's my people. Look, Tony is another one.
And
yes, he's awesome.
Tony and I do talk, and the one thing we say, Tony's doing big things with his.
Proud of Tony too. My God.
Right, and he's a local Philly guy. Grew up maybe 5 minutes from me. He's always showing love. I share his stuff out. Tony's been around for quite some time, and he always said, to make it in this business, it's, we all want to get a nice piece of the pie. We all want to get paid, but meeting, and I mean this sincerely, like meeting, having, the reporter we have, and then interviewing. It's like, it's more of an experience and a privilege just to meet, like yourself, to interview you, because it's not every day you get to meet, folks like yourself and everybody in the media and stuff like that.
I'm humbled.
From all walks of life. No, sincerely, really.
I enjoy this. Like,
it's just, so do I. This is, I mean, when I was skeptical of starting my own show, but because I was always a co-host, but Tony Cotillo and Tom Kelly, who owns part of the network, they both influenced me on, go for it.
That's awesome.
Because I was
now,
well, I'm in the right direction. I mean, I'm not where I want to be, but hey, it's, I've been doing this since September, and I've had some names on, quality.
And that speaks to you, right? And I think that's awesome, right? Because if people, the most precious thing anybody can give you is their time. And I stand, I believe that. So people only give their time if they believe in the product and what you have. And obviously that shows that you're doing it, and you're not trying to, you're doing it. And I'm so proud.
It's a passion of mine. And, like I said, I'm, fortunate to meet like yourself and Miss Washington and Al, Al and I met.
Yeah. Al's my people.
I mean,
I've met so many amazing people like you. That's why I said I wouldn't trade this career or business for the world.
Well, let me, get off that for a minute. My next question I wanted to ask you was, do you feel the industry is genuinely evolving when it comes to diversity, or is there still work to be done?
I think we've definitely made the strides in the right direction. Like, you can look, I mean, literally now you can go follow whoever you want to follow. And they come from so many different creeds and backgrounds, but I do still think there's work to be done. Like I say, I always mention sports talk radio. And I think that's a place, Mike. And I mean, turn on your actual sports talk radio stations in the car, or link to them online. And I don't think you hear enough women voices in sports talk radio. So, all that to say, I think, we're making strides, and we've made a lot of progress, and I love the direction that we're going, but there's always, like a coach, Mike, there's always room for improvement.
Of course.
It's always important to acknowledge that.
I would say, the local Philly sports stations.
Philly does a pretty good job, though. I will say Philly has pretty good diversity, like the fact that the guys and gals that I know that work out there in the town.
I don't know if you're, familiar with the Philly media up here, but I mean, Rhea Hughes, she was on the morning show. She's still on the morning show for almost 30 years.
Which is incredible. Philly does it better. I know Philly doesn't always get the best rep on things, but Philly does a dang good job, I think, in terms of the diversity of the media and sports media. But unfortunately, Philly is not the world, but I think Philly's a good blueprint for what it should be.
Well, I mean, we also have Devin Caney, who...
And I know Devin, so me and Devin are like social friends, and I know she does a great job. And like, she's had an amazing career, and I love just seeing her growth and like how she's really dominated the Philly market.
She's actually the Eagles sideline reporter.
Isn't that amazing? I love
last couple of years. So
it's awesome.
It is everywhere, like you said, but there's always room for improvement.
Yeah, there is. Like for me, I know, especially in college football, like I'd love to see
Right.
more dominating that space. I don't think we see. I mean, you see the sidelines, but like so much more than just the sidelines, like in the press boxes, and the writers. So there's a lot of progress. Don't get me wrong, but like
Right.
I want the norm to be people to see diverse, and I mean diversity of thought. I
Right.
mean, diversity of coverage. Like there's so many different ways to look at it, but like I think there's always a place where we could have more young people. Like there's
Right.
always space where we can do better.
Well, when you go back, look at ESPN. I mean, they had Linda Cohn there for
Oh my gosh, an
a
icon.
long time.
Yeah.
Robin Roberts,
Yep.
who used to do sports. Now
Yeah.
she's on ABC in the morning. And
that crossover.
yeah, I mean, like, look at Michael Strahan. Just
My gosh, what a
does
career.
Fox Sports, and he does, Good Morning America, and
Yep. He balances.
He's the host of a $10,000 pyramid, I think, and
then he has like the suit line. Like Michael Strahan is another like Michael Magic Johnson, like just
right.
an entrepreneur of entrepreneurs, like doing it,
big time. So I do have a few more questions here.
Okay.
I know what's next for Kelsey Nicole Nelson in the next 3 to 5 years?
Oh my gosh. I will say folks have to stay tuned, Mike, but I will tell you I'm having a lot of good talks. Highly recommend people come to my website, Kelsey Nicole Nelson, and hit that subscribe button because there's going to be some big things. And honestly, I'll say it was centered around, Mike, I want Kelsey Nicole Nelson to be a household name. That is the goal. I hope this happens in the next 3. Matter of fact, I'm going to manifest because I'm doing some great talks right now that will manifest into being able to share more. But that's the goal. And then also I'm going to be I'll be officially launching 35 years. I'll have my official foundation that'll also be launching.
Nice.
Near and dear to my heart.
Congratulations.
So thank you for people to learn more about my my advocacy side, because at the end of the day, like I love what I do, but I'm very big into the hard work and giving back.
Right.
So, excited that's
what everybody should do. No, I mean, I know a lot of people do it, but you can see your passion.
Yeah, thank you.
Just to give back.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
My next question is, who's your dream interview?
Oprah Winfrey. Like what Oprah was able to do, dominating like Oprah. So like for when I was growing up, people would call me the sports Oprah.
All right.
The Oprah of the sports world.
There you go.
And Oprah like influenced so many different things.
Well,
she had her own network. I would love my own network one day. She, in terms of being a host, the way she dominated the audiences in the talk show scene, I don't think we've seen anything like her since. A magazine, like she was a woman that could do all, and like she has an empire, and that's always been the goal for me, to have an empire. She was known by 3 letters, OWN. I am known by 3 letters, KNN. So I think Oprah would be, and then we both Mississippi roots. So I think, and then Maryland roots, right? She worked in Baltimore. I'm a Maryland girl. I was born and bred in football country, crab cakes and football, Mike. That's what Maryland does. So all that to say that she would definitely be the dream.
What's the name? The name of her Oprah's company's Harpo, right?
So Harpo Studios, right? Yeah. And then of course her network, which people still can watch their own network. I will say I don't watch it as much because I know it's more like it has like a lot of reality now, and I am so bad at reality TV, Mike, because like literally I watch sports and news. Like anything sports and news, I got you, but like you start asking about reality TV, I'm gonna be like, wait, let me check.
Let me ask you, who was your hardest interview?
That's a good question. I don't know if I use the word hard, but I will tell you, anytime you interview a public figure, their teams like to try to. Sometimes their teams like to try to navigate or control the interview. I'm a person, I cannot tell you what I'm going to be asking you. I can give you maybe guiding themes, but I'm going to go where you take me. And so I think the fun thing about having interviewed politicians is some of the raw things that you get, because you never know where it's going to lead. And then I get an open book, right? Like I get to, and that's my role on my show. Like I don't want you on my show if you can't be real and raw and authentic.
There you go.
But when you are, we'll have a good conversation.
Thank you. One word to describe the sports media industry.
Evolving.
Let's see. One habit that changed your life.
Knowing the value of my time and using my time wisely.
If you weren't in the media, what would you be doing?
Oh my gosh, I would be a bad criminal detective, y'all. Like growing up, I used to love CSI. I am still a loyal Law and Order SVU girly. Like I'd be solving the crimes, Mike. Like I would be out there. I'm good at crime shows. I'm good at solving things. Like I always catch the killer in movies before they find them.
There you go. Hey, you could always start your own private eye.
Let me tell you, I'd be good. You know, one of the cool things I did in high school, actually, I had a chance to be part of a program at Quantico, which folks might know Quantico,
Virginia,
FBI Academy. So
I knew that about Virginia.
Look at you knew Quantico. So a long time ago, I was in a program that they're actually trying to recruit early FBI agents. So if I was not doing this, Mike, you might not even know me or seen me because I probably wouldn't have a social profile because I probably would have been an FBI agent, like fighting the good fight.
There you go. Your most famous interview.
I think the one that really got me on the map is probably two, but LeVar Ball. I went viral during COVID for having LeVar Ball on. And then also during COVID, and COVID was a special time for my career because it really gave me a chance to take off. I had Jasmine Jordan on, the oldest daughter of Michael Jordan. I think those two were really ones, especially because everybody was home looking for stuff. Having those, I think, took me to the next.
Well, that's where I'm going on 6 years doing this, and that's really where it really started to boom.
Nice, yeah. People watch, people look for good content.
Did you ever meet Michael Jordan?
Not yet, and that was one of the things. So when I was at NASCAR, there's two people I had my eye on meeting, and people can probably guess this: Joe Gibbs and Michael Jordan, two people that own NASCAR teams that obviously have the football crossover.
That's right.
And so I got to meet Joe Gibbs. Check.
How was that?
Oh my gosh. I mean, like, think about it. Legend, especially here in DC, like coaching greatness, coaching legend, as personable as everybody said. And the fact that he was able, what he did in football, what he did in NASCAR now, and I love people like that, people that evolve. Michael Jordan, he did NASCAR, basketball, baseball. Right. Like, my gosh, like just amazing individuals.
What was it like interviewing his daughter?
Amazing.
Yeah.
Very open, very raw. I think one of the cool things I learned was like MJ's like pregame ritual. Like he liked a good steak before games. Good piece of red meat. It was cool getting those moments that like a lot of us just wouldn't be privy to.
Let me ask you this question. I know you may get asked it, I don't know, but I saw Michael, so Michael or LeBron.
Oh, come on. I know a lot.
I know the answer. I want to hear from you.
I'm an MJ. MJ changed the game. Space Jam was my movie. I was a Bulls girl back in the day, like MJ. Yeah. But I will not discredit what LeBron has done or what he means for the league. And LeBron's great in his own unique way.
He never came close to meeting Michael when he was with the Wizards.
Yeah. So, it's so funny. So Michael used to have a restaurant here in DC. Mm-hmm. And when Michael was with the Wizards, I was young. I was a kid. Right. I wish I was older at that time.
Yeah. I'm showing my age.
Him play. I got to see him play, but this was before Mike. I had special access to the court.
Okay. Yeah, but that wasn't Mike in his prime, I guess.
No, when he came to the Wizards,
too late.
Yeah, it was past the prime. We were excited to have him here in DC. And that's kind of the joke I always say about DC. Like the Wizards, I always say this, and I stand by this, Mike. I always will say that KD will come to Washington when his career is done. He will come just to say he played at home. But the career is going to be done by the time it happens.
What's up with your Nationals? Are they going to do anything this year?
Oh, now you're not. Look at you.
The Orioles.
That's a sensitive spot right now. That baseball in this area. Orioles fans were hurt last season.
Well,
Nats fans, so spring training. We'll see what happens. But the Nationals' new manager. I think there's I will say there's high expectations in DC. Like we like to call ourselves the District of Champions. The problem, Mike, is we don't have any recent championships.
Well, I'll say this about Philly. We have Trey Turner, who came up with the Nationals. Mm-hmm. and Bryce Harper leaves DC, comes here and the Nationals win a World Series.
You are rubbing wounds.
which we're still waiting on, because I don't know if you hear the battle going on between Dave Dombrowski, the Phillies GM, and then Bryce Harper, wearing the T-shirt saying that Dave Dombrowski said Bryce Harper was not of the elite. Now, let me ask you, you touch on Bryce Harper from the Nationals. I mean, just from knowing your sports and being in the DC area. What's your take of Bryce Harper?
Oh my God. Well, I'll tell you, Bryce is good for the media. He always is in storylines and headlines.
Right.
What is he? And let's be honest, Bryce is one of those stars of the sport, right? Like Bryce Harper, I mean, you're talking about like somebody who I would say transcends baseball, and the fact that like people even who aren't the biggest baseball fans, right, know that name, right? So all that to say, like, and this goes back to the Philadelphia sports fans, like. I don't care what anyone says. Like, if you can play in Philly, you can play anywhere. Like, Philadelphia might be one of the hardest. I think it's, and you tell me if I'm wrong. I think Philly, Chicago, and then I probably put DC might be some of the hardest sports cities to play in.
I mean, I know Chicago has a lot of passion, but I don't want to say they're laid back, but
you think really, Chicago sports fans?
I mean, you look at the Northeast Carter, like you look at Philly.
Oh, I forgot Boston. I would put Boston.
What about New York? I mean, it's
that's right, in New York. Okay, so top 5. Let me see. Okay, Philly, New York, Boston, Chicago, DC.
Well, let me ask you, like, what's LA like? I mean, I hear Dodger fans show up late for games.
I see LA. That's right. LA is unique because I think LA is still entertainment first. Right. But I do think when the Lakers are good and the Dodgers in the recent World Series, right? I do think you get that like sports fandom back. But I also remember the Super Bowl, the last Super Bowl that was in Los Angeles, and like it was different. Like, you know, it's kind of like where are the fans? Like, you know, so all that to say, like LA is a unique sports city, but I think it's because there's so much. Like, what is there not to do in LA, right? Like, LA is unique.
The furthest I've been out west was Denver and
we got to get Phoenix. You out west, Mike. We got Phoenix is nice. And
I've been there twice.
Phoenix is nice, but even Phoenix, like their sports fans, it's different.
Oh,
it's a different vibe.
Arizona is like Florida. There's just a lot of transplants.
I like that comparison, right? Transplants,
from all over.
Money that are like going to like.
I mean it's it's not Philly, Baltimore, DC.
Right, Baltimore. I think your blue collar cities is kind of what we're getting. Like your blue collar cities, I think is where you have like the avid sports fans, right? Like the people who work hard, that spend their hard-earned money in the games. Like, and that's not to say they don't mean any of these other cities, but like your blue collar cities, where I think it's really like you work yourself up cities. Like those are the cities that like sports fans are very passionate.
As my favorite Eagle of all time said here. One Brian Dawkins, Hall of Famer.
Yeah, look, legend.
Like he would say, you better bring your lunch pail.
Yes.
In this environment.
But it's so good. I think playing in those cities, I think it does well for the athlete, because it's like if you can survive those cities, like you'll be fine.
Big time. Well, you'll be fine. We love you. I mean, that's all we ask of our guys here. Play with passion.
Do accountability, right?
Well, like, if you're making the money you're making today, hell, you better.
Accountability is the real thing,
right? You better bring your lunch pail, especially like you said in a blue collar city. If not, we'll run
the work ethic you have. Like me and you, right? We've worked ourselves up. Like that's the mentality that we have.
If not, you're going to be short-lived, and we're going to run you out of town.
Pretty much. That's I have love for Philly. I love it. I love the.
Thank you. Well, I know we got started a little late, thanks to my
on
my end.
Main thing we came through, Mike. We did it.
I want to thank you so much for taking your time out of your hectic schedule. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how you do it, but God bless you.
Oh no, thank you, Mike. This was so fun. And like, you got to play the intro for the people because I want them to see it, Mike. It was so
I
good.
will.
It was so good.
I'm usually on point, but then I forgot to hit go live. I mean, I played
and you were vibing so much.
I know.
We had a whole conversation before the conversation that people want to but they get to see this one, which is great.
You know what? We know what we didn't touch on there. With props to Jaden Daniels for saying Philly fans are the best, because when he played at LSU, that environment.
I love it. That's right. We didn't get to say that on here, and I said I love it because it shows the competitor.
Yeah, but like I said, maybe he's lobbying to come to Philly. But
and then I told you to cut that out. This is the franchise quarterback here. Don't you start problems in DC, Mike?
I don't care what these folks say about my. I'll say this: Jalen Hurts is the son that I never had, that I always wanted.
That was nice.
A very humbled young man.
Yep.
Full class.
Yeah.
He brought nothing to do with the Super Bowl. His parents raised him very well. And
I agree.
Much respect to Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
Let the haters hate.
Just keep performing on the football field.
Like Jalen said, I didn't walk through the fire just to smell the smoke.
Woo! I told you I love quotes, and I love that one.
And
it's the Geno Smith. They tried to write me off. I ain't right back.
There you go.
Though I know Geno had a rougher season. Now I also put that out there.
Hey, props to Sam Darnold. I mean,
hell of a job he did in Seattle. Got to give credit where credit is due. What a story!
I'm sure now San Fran are kicking themselves, and
there's a lot of people like, man,
Minnesota especially.
Ooh, and look what happened in Minnesota. Oh, look, you're about to start a whole different show, Mike.
That's all right. I don't mind. Hey, I'm from Philly. We don't care. People want to cry. We'll give them a lifetime supply of tissues.
I love it.
Well,
so much fun.
So share with the audience where everybody can reach you at.
Yeah, so easiest by my website, KelseyNicoleNelson.com, on social media, The Real K Nelson, Facebook and LinkedIn, just Kelsey Nicole Nelson. Mike, you were a pleasure to talk to. Thank you so much.
It's always, it's always.
Bye, guys.
It's always a pleasure. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. I know we got started a little late. I want to, appreciate, the questions, Al chiming in. We have to get that to 50, hopefully back next year.
I'm looking forward. Yeah.
Kelsey, it was
thank you.
My pleasure having you on. I mean, I know we could probably go on for another hour, but thank you for coming on, and
Mike,
we'll talk soon.
Awesome. Thanks. Bye, guys. Have a great one.
Let me see if I could get this right, because never mind. I'll tell you off air. Let me see if I could. Wait, you know what? Here we go. We're out. Everybody have a good weekend. Be blessed. Reach out to a friend, family member who you haven't talked to. Mental health awareness, because you never know what somebody's going through.
Powerful. Yes, it is.
Have a good night and have a good weekend, and God bless.
Yeah. Philly streets got a story to tell. Golden sun breaks the Liberty Bell. From the Trattoria to the stoop outside, feel good vibes in the city's pride. Fuji's Philly flag, oh, it's everywhere. Good news flying like hands in the air. Hip hop grooves with a twist, so rare. Fuji's Philly flag, we're living the care.